Welcome to Solo Shot First, and today we're going to be having a look at the Super Battle Droid from Star Wars The Legacy Collection. Now, I've got to say, first impressions through the bubble, this figure inside that bubble looks absolutely amazing. Really, really impressive. I am very aware that obviously they did a couple of releases of this Super Battle Droid. Obviously, you got one that was part of the vintage collection, which unfortunately I don't have to make a comparison, and also one that was a heavy assault battle droid. I think that was part of the Clone Wars collection, and I think there might have been one other possible release of it, but I'm not 100% sure. So if anybody watching this video does know a little bit more about that, then please comment and let me know. But the card back for these, I mean, obviously there's a lot of rumour with regards to the Legacy Collection in terms of the moulds and things like that, whether some of the moulds have been lost. I think, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is probably quite a similar mould to the one that is in the vintage collection. But nice packaging on this. I mean, this card obviously is a little bit warped, a little bit bent. It's been in storage for quite a while. And although obviously I quite like these card backs, these are never ones that it's not like obviously sort of the modern vintage collection one where you've got that sort of traditional lovely sort of card back and that feel sort of going all the way back. Not too worried about opening this anyway, and I really want to obviously have a look at this figure. There does appear to also, within that packaging, obviously you've got that sort of white box on the right-hand side, and I think, I might be wrong, we'll soon see when we get it out of the packaging, I think that sort of contains possibly some blasters or some extra weapons or something like that. But quite a nice looking front of the card, and as I said, the figure inside that bubble. I mean, if I can just bring that in. Again, I apologise for the light because there's no way I can film in natural light here in the UK at the moment. It's just too dark. But yeah, that does look pretty good inside the packaging itself. So, right, let's have a look at the back of the card. So on the back, the one thing obviously that these Legacy Collection cards did do really, really well, and obviously this sort of is saying it's sort of part of the Saga Legends line, but it obviously gives you a little bit more information about the battle droid there, and obviously the battle gear. And there is a nice image from the film, from the Battle of Geonosis, where obviously you see these guys attacking the Jedi. So that's a really, really nice touch. I would love to sort of see that style of image on the back of vintage collection ones, but I don't think they're going to go down that route. Down at the bottom, you've obviously got the other figures that were part of this wave. So you've got R2, you've got their Darth Vader, which is obviously Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan, a clone trooper, and Darth Vader. So a really nice looking back of this card. Okay, so just swinging it around just to the front for one final look. And then what we'll do is we will get this figure out of the packaging and have a look at it. But it does look, as I said, inside the bubble, it looks very, very impressive. Okay, so here we've got the actual figure out of the packaging, and I've got to say, the look of this it's really, really nice. I mean, I hope this camera work in this light is going to do this justice. There are a couple of things with it. You can probably see, obviously, on the bottom there, the way that his left leg is sort of shaped a little bit differently. Now, whether that's just got bent in the packaging, I'm not 100% sure. I should have obviously had a look at that in a little bit more detail before getting it out, but I'm not convinced it is. I just think it's the style of the way that they had it sort of set up. But obviously it's able to stand absolutely perfectly, so there's no problem there. If I just bring this in so you can have a look at this in a little bit more detail. I mean, there's some really nice detailing on there. It's almost got this sort of slight weathered look to it. Like it's got obviously the sort of it's almost like a dusty grey stroke silver. So some really, really good detailing on some of these. On a lot of these, obviously, Legacy Collection figures, they were absolutely fantastic. But that is very, very impressive. And as I said, look, you're just able to get him to stand perfectly. In terms of the articulation that you get with this, I mean, obviously being a sort of battle droid, it's a little bit more limited than what you would have had in the Legacy Collection. Certainly, obviously, what we're getting now more modern vintage. But you've still got, I mean, obviously there's no head, so to speak, of to this because it's there and sort of straight into the socket. But you do obviously have articulation at the arms. But these are really at the top of the elbows, I should say. They're just a swivel. There's no movement sort of left or right. But there is articulation up and down in terms of the elbow. There is no swivel at the wrist, but there is obviously a swivel at the waist. No real sort of articulation at the hips, so to speak, but there is obviously articulation at the knees and nothing at the ankles. So slightly limited. But having said that, not really for actually how you see these battle droids in Attack of the Clones and obviously in things like the Clone Wars. So no problems whatsoever with the articulation there. In terms of the accessories, this actually came in the packaging. So let's have a look what we've got inside this little box. It'll be interesting to actually see. Wow. Now that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weapons. So you've got this sort of like really heavy duty blaster. Okay, it's a plain black, but some nice detailing on that. You've got this also what I would class as like a heavy duty blaster, or just a plain black, but again some nice detailing on on the actual sort of body, if you want to class it as that of this weapon. You get one of these sort of standard pistols. Don't recall them having those, but it's not a bad touch. Another blaster. Another smaller blaster pistol. And then I suppose you'd almost class that as like a rifle. Now, I know you never sort of saw them carrying a lot of those accessories, but still, that is a really, really nice touch to get 6 additional blasters just coming with this particular figure. So that's really, really, I'm telling you, I'm really, really pleased with that. Because also, you're always going to need, I mean, if you like sort of doing, I don't know, swapping weapons around or whatever, it's always nice to have additional weapons. And the other thing that I would say about this figure, this would really, really lend itself perfectly to an army builder. Absolutely. I wouldn't even necessarily say, because of the type of droids that these are, that you would have to do anything. I wouldn't even sort of say like, I'd want a completely sort of new mold or anything. That would do absolutely perfectly, but that would be brilliant in an army builder 4-pack. Because if you want to do, diorama scenes or whatever, if you've got that Geonosis Battle Arena, then to have sort of some of these in there would be absolutely fantastic. So a really, really, look, I think it's a very, very impressive figure. Yes, as I said, the articulation is somewhat limited, but exactly as you would expect it to be for that type of droid. You've got some great accessories in terms of the number of weapons that come with this figure. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the like button. If you're new to the channel and you want to subscribe, please do. There'll be plenty more videos coming shortly. If you've got any questions, any comments at all on this figure or on the video, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll come back to you as soon as possible. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.